ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So today verse will recite Canto 7, Chapter 8, Sloka, verse number 10. Dashyun purashanna vidyate lumpato Dashyun purashanna vidyate lumpato Dashyun purashanna vidyate lumpato मन्यन्त एक स्वजिता दिशे दिशो दशा मनन्त्य एक स्वजिता दिशो दशा मनन्त्य एक स्वजिता दिशो दशा जितात्मनो यज्ञ समस्य देहिनां जितात्मनो यज्ञ समस्य देहिनां सदो स्वमोह प्रभवः कुतः परे सदहो स्वमोह प्रभवः कुतः परे दस्युन् पुरा सन्न विजित लुम्पतो मन्यन्त एक स्वजिता दिशो दश जितात्मनो ज्ञस्य सम्मस्य देहिनां साधोः स्वमोह प्रभवः कुतः परे। One can repeat this. दस्युन् पुरा सन्न विजित्य लुम्पतो मन्यन्त एक स्वजिता दिशो दश जितात्मनो ज्ञस्य समस्य देहिनां साधोः स्वमोह प्रभवः कुतः परे। दस्युन् पुराक्षन्न विजित्य लुम्पतो मन्यन्त एक स्वजिता दिशो दश जितात्मनो ज्ञस्य समस्य देहिनां सद्धो स्वमोह प्रभवः कुतः परे। दास्युन् पुराक्षन्न विद्यते लुम्पतो मन्यन्ते एक स्वजिता दिशो दश जितात्मनो ज्ञस्य समस्य देहिनां साधोः स्वमोह प्रभवः कुतः परे। Hare Krishna. What meaning? Dashun, plunderers. Puraha, in the beginning. Sat, six. Na, nut. Vijitya, conquering. Lamputaha, stealing all one's up with possessions. Manyante, consider. Eke, some. So jitaha, conquered. Disaha dasa, the 10 direction. Jita atmanaha, one who has conquered the senses. Gyash, gyasa, learned. Samasya, occupied. Dehinam, to all living entities. Sadhoho, of such saintly person. Swa moha pravavaha, created by one own illusions. Kutaha, where? Pare, enemies or opposing elements. In the former time, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools are very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in the 10 direction. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipped towards all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. Purport. In this material world, everyone thinks that he has conquered his enemies, but understanding that his enemies are his uncontrolled mind and 5 senses. Manaha sastandriyani prakriti sthani karsati. In this material world, everyone has become a servant of the senses. Originally, everyone is the servants of Krishna, but in ignorance, one forget this, and thus one is engaged in the service of Māyā through lust, desire, anger, greedy, illusion, madness, and jealousy. Everyone is actually dependent on the reaction of material laws, but still one makes himself independent and thinks that he has conquered all direction. In conclusion, one who thinks that he has many enemies is an ignorant man, whereas one who is in Krishna consciousness knows that there are no enemy but those within oneself, the uncontrolled mind and senses. So हिंदी में पढ़ सकते हैं
प्राचीन काल में आपके समान ही अनेक मूढ़ हुए जिन्होंने उन 6 शत्रुओं को नहीं जीता जो शरीर रूपी संपत्ति को चुरा ले जाते हैं। ये मूढ़ यह सोचकर गर्वित होते हैं, मैंने तो 10 दिशाओं के सारे शत्रुओं को जीत लिया है। यदि कोई व्यक्ति इन 6 शत्रुओं पर विजयी होता है तो और सारे जीवों पर समभाव रखता है तो उसके लिए शत्रु नहीं होते। शत्रु की कल्पना मूर्खतावश की जाती है। इस संसार में प्रत्येक व्यक्ति सोचता है कि उसने अपने शत्रुओं को जीत लिया है, किंतु वह यह नहीं समझ पाता कि उसके शत्रु तो उसका अनियंत्रित मन तथा इंद्रियां है। मन शस्ति इंद्रियाणि प्रकृति स्थानी करिष्यति। इस संसार में प्रत्येक व्यक्ति अपने इंद्रियों का दास बन चुका है। अतः मूलतः प्रत्येक व्यक्ति कृष्ण का दास होता है, किंतु अज्ञानवश वह इसे भूल जाता है और इस तरह वह कामेच्छा, क्रोध, लोभ, प्रमदता तथा ईश्वरवश, ईर्ष्यावश माया की सेवा में लग जाता है। वास्तव में प्रत्येक व्यक्ति भौतिक नियमों के परिणामों पर आश्रित है, फिर भी वह अपने को स्वतंत्र समझता है और वास्तव में प्रत्येक व्यक्ति भौतिक नियमों के परिणाम पर आश्रित है, फिर भी वह अपने आप को स्वतंत्र समझता है और सोचता है कि उसने सारी दिशाएं जीत ली है। निष्कर्ष यह निकला कि जो व्यक्ति यह सोचता है कि उसके अनेक शत्रु हैं वह अज्ञानी है, जबकि कृष्ण भावना भावित व्यक्ति जानता है कि मनुष्य के भीतर के शत्रुओं अनियंत्रित मन तथा इंद्रियों के अतिरिक्त कोई अन्य शत्रु नहीं।
चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथावितं त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. With all of your blessings, I will start discussing the subject matter. So I would request, please bless me so that I can speak. Since I don't have any eligibility to speak on this subject matter, so Bhagavatam is very very deep, and we are just we can just go through the realization of our senior acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. So with his realization, so we can understand this subject matter, and without the mercy, we cannot understand. Even I can not speak also. So I need your all your blessing. So to start this discussion. So here, so I'll read this translation first. In the former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the six enemies. What are the six enemies? Like five senses and mind. Manha, Sastra, and Indriyani, Prakriti, Sthani, Karsati, Prabhupada given in purport. So like our five Indriya, five senses and mind, including five, that steal away the wealth of the body. What is the wealth of the body? No. What is the wealth of the body? Prabhupada mentioned. Like that steal away the wealth of the body. It said this, that steal away the wealth of the body. What is that exactly? Soul, right? Like Srila Prabhupada makes point many times. Like one has to do devotional service. If one who does not practice spiritual life, it is like committing suicide. So one is like feeling like, or he is in trap, or he's in falling in a trap to the cycle of birth and death, and again and again he'll be in this 84 लाख का जोनी में, like 84 lakhs of species will be there. So that's the wealth of our body. What is that? Souls. To preserve the wealth is to preserve the soul. It's it. So, so if you batate, these fools were very proud, thinking I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. Like as materialistics become very very proud when like one becomes like Hiranyakasipu. He has got power, wealth, beauty, strength. Even if it is limited, he becomes very very proud, or he thinks that I have conquered everything. It is there in mentioned. वो सोच रहा है कि सब कुछ उसके पास है, So I'll try to speak in Hindi, bro. Please out. वो सोच रहा था कि मैं सब कुछ मेरे पास है, वेल्थ वगैरह सब कुछ है, मगर फिर भी कुछ फिर भी हिज थिंकिंग वो सोच रहा है कि वो पूरा कॉन्कर कर लिया सब कुछ, एंड हियर ही कॉन्कर्ड एवरीथिंग. एंड वहाँ पे लिखा है ट्रांसलेशन में, आई हैव कॉन्कर्ड ऑल एनिमीज इन ऑल द 10 डायरेक्शन, बट इफ ए पर्सन इज विक्टोरियस ओवर द 6 enemies and is equipped towards all living entities. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying one who has conquered his 6 enemies like 5 senses and mind is really victorious. अगर कोई अपने मन मन के साथ 5 इंद्रियों को अगर वो जीत लिया है, दे आर द रियल, मतलब वो ही है विजेता. एंड देयर आर नो एनिमीज फॉर हिम बिकॉज ही इज इक्विपाइज टुवर्ड्स ऑल द लिविंग एंटिटीज. सो एनिमीज आर merely imagined by in one ignorance. In the last line it is written, so everyone in this material world is always clutches of a 4 things, um, like aha- ahara nidra vaya mathunam cha. So these 4 things they have clutches with like all the time. One who is attached to his senses, or one who is wants to enjoy always, like Hiranyakashipu here it is mentioned, actually they are themselves controlled by these 4 things, like ahara nidra vaya mathuna. They are being controlled by these 4 things. So now how come we overcome this? How can we get rid of all these things? So in this chapter, we hear like the obstacles of devotional service is because of the uncontrolled senses. So ये पूरा chapter में हम लोग भी discuss कर रहे थे, like in previous chapters also we have understood कि one needs to enjoy his senses, like he gratify his senses, and it says nobody can avoid sense gratifications. And all the senses they need to be engaged. They need to be engaged means some or other they wanted engagement. Srila Prabhupada says it is very very difficult to overcome. Prabhupada also mentioned, even in fact Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita, like sense or mind is more difficult to controlling than like wind. So these 6 senses needs engagement. So unless without engagement, one cannot control the senses. So senses need to be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Like बताते हैं ना कि परम दृष्ट्वा निर्वर्तते. Krishna says that one needs to be give them a higher taste. Suppose one kid, like one child eating dot. So how we can stop him from eating dot? We can give him some sweet, or then to stop him to eat these dots and all. So if we will give him a like higher taste, so that he will able to leave the lower taste. So similarly, over our mind and senses also, unless we give higher taste, it is very very difficult for them to give up the lower taste. So that is why, like the higher taste, we consider that devotional service. So there is a pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to a South Indian tour, he came South Indian tour. One devotee named Kala Krishna Das. So like he was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was like Nityananda Prabhu. Mahaprabhu sent him. So he wanted to go alone, but Nityananda Mahaprabhu said, someone should be there with you. So he sent Kala Krishna Das with him, and he came. And in South India, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was meeting many like personality like Prakashananda Saraswati and Ramananda, other devotees are. So in at that point, Kala Krishna Das, he attracted towards like women there, like in South Indian tour during. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go and he went and fought with those people and drag him back. Like he like hold him by the hair and he drag him back. And like this here, like so senses are like this. Senses are always keep on going and demanding things which are not suitable for us. Always run behind a object which can be gratified the senses. So, but somehow or other, if we are engaged in the service of the Lord Krishna or devotional service in Krishna, will always be in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will bring us back. So Srila Prabhupada says, like consciousness is originally pure, like water. But if we mix water with a certain color, it changes. Similarly, consciousness is pure, for the spirit soul is pure. But consciousness is changed according to the association of the material qualification, qualities. Like Srila Prabhupada says, real consciousness is Krishna consciousness. Like we should always like engage them in the Krishna consciousness, like devotional service. As I said, we should always give them higher taste to give up the lower taste. Otherwise, we cannot control our senses and mind. That should be engaged in the devotional service towards Krishna. Like because senses are always active. Even one becomes like old, they also need something to do because they are always active. They cannot be inactive. Like old age during retirement also, like some those are working and retirement also, they are also hankering something to play or something. You can say golf. Srila Prabhupada saw someone was like some few old men, they are playing golf and they're telling, oh, they are trying their best, or they are trying hard to put that like ball inside a small hole. So it is like mind is are always like this. He wanted something to active, and it cannot be stopped. I can just give one example, like in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is there, like in some section, that while Krishna was very like a small boy, like during maybe 5 years old, so he used to pull the tail of calf always. एंड जब ही वाज जस्ट जैसे ही उनका जो बछड़ा है उनका पीछे पकड़ के जब पूंछ पकड़ता है, तो व्हाट हैपेंड कि वो काफ ये रन अवे. तो उसको देख के बाकी सारे गोपीज व्हाट दे थिंक, they were working like whatever they worked their household work, so they will stop everything, all the activity they will stop, and then observe in their leela, like Krishna leelas. So like they are like seeing Krishna's activities, how like how they are getting the higher taste. So just like this, just stop to the lower taste. Something we should have, like to give up this lower taste, so we should have a higher taste. Like this it is maintained. So when therefore one situated in Krishna consciousness, he is in his pure life. But if his consciousness is adulterated by some type of material mentality, in the next life he gets the corresponding body. It is written here. So he does not necessarily get a human body again. He will not get a human body again. He can get the body of a cat, dog, hog, demigod, or of many other forms of there in 84 lakhs of species. So it is referred in 15.9 chapter. So शास्त्र में ये बताया गया है कि सबसे पहले हम अपने मन को समर्पित करना चाहिए और उसके बाद भक्ति सेवा वो उसको भक्ति में लगाना चाहिए, मन को भक्ति में लगाना चाहिए. लाइक अमृत बिंदु उपनिषद में कहा गया है, लाइक मन एव मनुष्याण कारण बंधन मोक्षया. मन ही व्यक्ति का बंधन और मुक्ति दोनों का कारण है. इट इज देयर इन sorry. So that's why in yoga system also, like eightfold yoga system, क्यों मन को नियंत्रण करने के लिए बोला गया है, like फर्स्ट मतलब ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया गया है अष्टांग योग में. So like उसके उद्देश्य क्या है, what is the reason behind? योग इंद्रिय स्वयं स्वयं बोला गया ना कि योगों का परिभाषा क्या है, like बताया गया है कि योगा मतलब कनेक्टिंग टू गॉड और एंगेज like indriya sayamat matlab controlling the senses. How to control them? Engage them in the devotional service to the Lord. It is there hrusikesh sorry mm, hrusikesh hrusikesh sevanam bhakti रुच्यते. सो हमें इंद्रियों को सेंस को भगवान के मतलब कार्य में लगाना चाहिए. इसको भक्ति ही कहते हैं. जो वट एवर like our sense subject like is there like 5 senses and mind, total 6 senses what Prahlad Maharaj is talking about. It should be engaged in the service of the Lord Krishna's. So that is called as a real bhakti or devotional service. Means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord and to Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So who is the master of all senses? And when the spirit soul renders like service unto the mm, supreme, like there are two sides effects. So in like in said like sarvo upadi vinir mukta tat paratvena nirmalam. One is freed from all material designation, one, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. ये नारद पंचरत्र में भी ये बताया गया है. So, so that's why Srila Prabhupada gave us this sadhana bhakti process, like we are following in our Iskcon. So that by doing this sadhana bhakti, like we can engage all our senses in the service of the Lord. So like entire day, like whenever we are coming and attending all the program, morning program or evening program. So what we do, like we get flowers to smell. So in this way, we are engaging our like senses, like nose, like whatever the offered flower which is remaining, first it is offered to the Lord, then we are smelling it and eating Krishna prasadam or glorifying the Lord or talking like taking the charana tulsi. It is the like seeing or taking darshan of the Lord. So all this like we are engaging our senses and or paying obeisances like Sastanga Pranam or Ashtanga Pranam. So engaging various services and reciting various prayer in front of the Lord. So like Ambrish Maharaj did, like what? Like Sabai Manah Krishna Padara Bindahu Pachamsi Vaikuntha Gunarnu Bandhane. Like and then next ko Karo Hare Mandira Marjana Nadishu Shruting Chakara Chutya Sakto Thadaya. So this sloka is there. So if we have not conquered the 6 enemies by engaging the devotional service, like Prabhupada says in this purport, originally everyone is like servant of Krishna, but in ignorance one forget this, and thus one is engaged in the service of Maya. But whereas one who is Krishna consciousness knows that there are no enemies but those within oneself. So these uncontrolled, these are uncontrolled mind and senses are the real enemy for us. Just like Prahlad Maharaj is telling here, like आदमी सिर्फ कल्पना में ही सोच सकता है कि ये मैं ये जीत लिया, वो जीत लिया और आया विक्टोरियस ओवर एवरीथिंग, किंतु उसने लाइक वास्तव में कुछ भी नहीं जीता जब तक वो अपने इंद्रियों को दास नहीं बना रहा है. और जितना जितना मतलब क्या है, मतलब विक्टोरियस ओवर समथिंग मतलब क्या है कि स्वामी बनना है. सो किस चीज का स्वामी बनना है? लाइक गोस्वामी, इट्स ए सेंस ऑफ सेंसेस का स्वामी बनना है. दैट्स व्हाई इट्स कॉल्ड एज ए गोस्वामी. लाइक दैट्स व्हाई so 6 senses are the real enemy. So one has to victorious over the 6 enemies. So क्योंकि वही करना है जो हमें इस जगत पे लाइक जगत से बाहर लेके जाना है, मतलब बिकॉज वही these senses are those the real enemy for us. Why? Because they are the reason, because we are like हम ये जगत में फंस के रहते हैं. We are not like जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि ये सारा चीज में फंस के रहते हैं. एंड उसके बाद भी लाइक 84 लाख स्पीसीज में हम चक्कर लगाते हैं ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दिस, like because we are not able to conquer our senses and not engaging them in the service of the Lord. So a person who has conquered the 6 enemies or 6 senses is known as a Goswami. And our 6 Goswamis are the living example for these verses. So, and today is also the disappearance of a Srila Jiva Goswami. So we can also discuss about Srila Jiva Goswami. And like Jiva Goswami, born in a wealthy, influenced family, had very chance to comfort or like recognition. Yet he renounced fully. Like this verse is also exactly matching. Like no lust, no greedy, no pride. We can also discuss this like his glories today. Like Jiva Goswami identified like in early life, like it says in Gaudadesa Deepika, like verse 195. So Bilas, he was a Bilas Manjiri. He identified in Krishna pastimes. So from a very young age, around 10 or 12, so he left home as a brahmachari, followed the renounced example of his fathers or uncle, Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatam Goswami. So we can discuss on this. So Jiva Goswami like studied Sanskrit and philosophy in Navadip, and like he followed there and followed he, like in Navadip Dham. So he was following Sri Nityananda Mahaprabhu, and later he went to like Banaras, where he studied under like Madhusudan Vachaspati after completing like his studies, and he proceeded to Vrindavan and fully took shelter of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, his uncles. So these events are recorded in Bhakti Ratnakara. So it is there. So I'll just go through this. Like he was actually he was a great scholar, great leader, and a great teacher, and a great pure devotee who was observed in Radha Krishna's service. So we can discuss how he was a great leader, great teacher, and great scholar. Like like in Mahabharat, like we know that there is a 1 lakh verse in Mahabharat, but he, like Jiva Goswami, was among the greatest scholar in Indian history. While like in Mahabharat consists about 1 lakh verses, Jiva Goswami himself composed nearly 4 lakh verses. He authored or edited at least or more than 25 major books like philosophy, technology, grammar, like and poetries, and he also gave commentaries and devotional manuals also. So he's a great teacher. How he trained a 3 great devotee, and that time during his time, so he initially started book distribution. First he just teach them like nicely and empowered them, and then with them he associated, and with them they started doing all this book distribution also they have started. He's a great leader and manager. He was the when like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all other senior left, like at that time. So left the he was the person. He is the central authority in Vrindavan after that departure of senior Goswamis and all. So it's just like during all whenever our like we see like some seniors or some great acharyas that they leave this world, and so what happened now? So like let's suppose like our Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada departed, like so many like thing happened. Like koi bhi like they, all other those are in bhakti, they also left Iskcons. Something happened, so it was very difficult to manage all these things. But that time he acted as a central authority there and in Vrindavan, and who Jiva Goswami, and also like he protected many temples and he protected many devotees and took care of all, and established Sri Radha Damodar Temple in 1542 in Seva Kunj. And Srila Jiva Goswami intimately involved in 14 years of construction of Govinda Dev Mandir as evidence by his Govinda Dev Mandir Mandir Ashtakam and 8 verses tribute to his temple and its patterns. So उसके बाद भी जैसे Jiva Goswami has very affection towards all other Goswamis. In the same time, other Goswamis also having very loving or great affection towards Jiva Goswami also. Like in 1950-84, Raghunath Das, when Das banqueted his worldly procession to Jiva Goswami in following whatever he has, all this what is that called banquet. So he gave everything to Jiva Goswami. So I'll just read this. Is detecting the document to Kaviraj on my deathbed. I, the blind and lowly Raghunath Das, enthusiastically for the service of Sri Radha Kund or nearby, place the whole of my property at the lotus feet of the deity worshipped by Jiva. EI to Radha Damodar temple. This bequest apparently considered of 6 plot of land and is recorded in author document of its 996 1580. So Raghunath Das had previously shown his respect and affection for Jiva. So enthusiastically their wealth and final wishes to Jiva Goswami. So it's reflect he trusts Jiva Goswami and affection towards him, and he recognition of spiritual authority. He gave everything to Jiva Goswami, and he put Jiva Goswami also one more thing, how he is a great leader or protector or manager. He protected all the Vrindavans from Mughals. Like that time, we see all the time Delhi was the headquarter there. They Mughals for Mughals, and they from there they go to Ayodhya or Srirangam. They destroyed all these temples and all. But how Jiva Goswami, he's such a how he protected everything from the Mughal. So he went to he took help of Todarmal, and then actually there is a Forman order he took from the Raja was Akbar that time in Mughal during time. So they were destroyed everything, but Jiva Goswami protected Vrindavan. There is a called Forman. So in this document, Akbar gives official recognition to the construction of this Govinda Dev and Madan Mohan temple. The two temple they have given, it should not be broken. So exactly यहाँ पे लिखा गया है कि so in the response of a petition from Raja Todarmal on behalf of Jiva Goswami, stating that he was a poor worshipful man in whose care the temple had been left. A former was issued on the representation of the Todarmal. So in favor of Jiva Goswami. And the Forman is dated 14 RB and on some on October 16 October 1568. And the Forman stated that Jiva Goswami, a poor man praying for his majesty, needed to be protected in his right of management of two temple of Madan Mohan Govind Rai. So we can see how Jiva Goswami protected our he not only just he wanted to please all the Vaishnavas, all his previous acharyas, and all upcoming. He wanted to solve entire Vaishnavas. So he protected everything. So we can see how great he was. And also there is a Jiva Goswami will. I'll not go in detail. So I'll just read as it is. So Jiva Goswami, how what was his will, and during last time. So The following is the final will of the Vrindavan resident by the name of Jiva, the constant follower of the lotus feet of the greatly renowned renowned Sri Rupa and Sanatan, whose names were worthy of being chanted. Whether activities have been performed by me have all been performed for the facilitation of the service of my Vasibepu Lordship Sri Sri Radha Krishna, who are present in their deity forms. Firstly, I gave this service to the saintly nurtured soul exclusively dedicated to the service of the Absolute Sri Bilas Das. So he gave like this to Bilas Das, whether whatever like paraphernalia has been collected for Sri Sri Radha Krishna worship should be known as belonging to Sri Bilas Das after my departure. So, however, if on the like destruction of my body ही श्री बिलास दास ड्यू टू रिनाउंस, वो सोचे कि अगर वो रिनाउंस ले लेगा तो फिर क्या होगा. सो फिर आगे वो बताते हैं ड्यू टू रिनाउंस और इनकैपेबिलिटी विशेस टू बी रिलीव्ड ऑफ दिस सर्विस एंड इफ द सुप्रीमली सेंटली son of Sri Bhattacharya, the Brahmin named Sriman Krishnadas desired to be situated in the service of Sri Radha Krishna at the time. Then Sri Bilas Das should be himself hand over all my paraphernalia of worship along with the worshipable deities and everything else, include books through another way. In this there is no other person who can claim any rights. Everything that belongs to me is being offered by me. So how can anyone else have say in this matter? So if anyone opposes this, then certainly he is heretic and punishable by all the Vaishnava king. So we can see like how he's protecting. And also so he was in the last so then he's continued with, if the Brahman Sri Krishna Das also is incapable for performing this service, then Sri Bilas Das should willingly surrender everything to another fully eligible person. If Sri Bilas Das wishes to retire from this service in my mortal presence, then all decision will rest on me solely. That is, my handwriting is a fact that can be testified by thousand whoever. Those who saw me writing this will are also witnessed to the same. If it is not clear that certain handwriting is mine, then it should be considered if someone has enviously write 10 something fake. However, if cautious is exercised after my death, then this letter will be clear enough to convey my will. I am also writing the same in Bengali. Also, just to confirm, he also write it in a Bengali language, Bengali alphabet. That too should be considered as evidence. And I pray to all those who are my well wisher that they may kind help me in this matter. So auspicious needs to everyone, auspicious to everyone. So Sila Jiva Goswami is like you can understand how so absolute detachment institute, like he institutional everything and unwavering devotion, and so how he protected everything and he wanted to carry forward this essence as it is, and nobody should do and here and like and heria ferry something like this. So this was and also Srila Prabhupada also given on comment like on Jiva Goswami, like my mission is develop the glories of Srila Jiva Goswami all over the world, and I think you should cooperate with my honest endeavor. As you are going to restore order in the temple, I am always with you, because Srila Jiva Goswami temples is my heart and soul. So so this is the comment Prabhupada was giving. So you can see, so in his last will, Jiva Goswami like dedicated everything, temples, deities, books and property solely for the service of the Sri Sri Radha Krishna, and establishing strict success rules to protect devotional or purity. and that document reflects his absolute detachment, and like how he like done everything. So we can see like he's such a scholar, like grounded in Bhagavatam, teaching a teacher, like sparing future generation, like sapping future generation, and leader protecting institution. How he protected all the institution, and he's a pure devotee obsessed in Krishna, Radha Krishna Seva. So he is the philosophical backbone of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So so we can pray Jiva Goswami so that we can also, as he engaged everything in the service of the Lord, and he did great service, always in service mode. He protected everything for us so that we can have a nice Vrindavan and nice temple. Although this like the temple broken, but that format was given after that. So we can pray Srila Jiva Goswami. So for our spiritual progress, we can also engage our all senses as we read these verses to in the service of the Lord. And so any correction on any uh, like question, you please ask. Srila Jiva Goswami ki jai. प्रभु कुछ करेक्शन करना है तो प्लीज. I tried to it. Narasimha Bhagavatam ki jai.